Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, you know what? This is what I'm about to do here. This is somebody's favorite part of the show. It's episode
Mike's Daily Podcast
2156. My name is Mike. This is my podcast, and I hope you like it because I do things like talk about stuff in the world, and I have a very bizarre perspective just like everybody else. It's unique just like everybody else's perspective. We're all unique. Wait a minute.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
If you're unique, then you're the only one. I don't know about this
Mike's
self-esteem thing.
Daily
I'm just a sucker with
Podcast.
low self-esteem, but that's okay.
Yeah!
You know why? Because I have a girlfriend. No, that's not the... Well, yes, I'm very lucky to have a lovely lady friend in my life. And for those of you who listen to this podcast for a long time, let's say between 2013 and 2018, early 2018, you knew Mike was blue and had a hard time. It was a tough life for Mike. And then I met lovely lady friend and everything turned out all right. So if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. My point is, she's also a therapist. So we have very interesting conversations. Like last night, I was telling her, you know, I wake up in the morning and my brain is on and I'm thinking about stuff. So it's as if I am walking on landmines when I wake up. But it's like when I'm not supposed to wake up. I still got like an extra hour or two I can be sleeping. But my brain turns on and it finds these little landmines. So I'll just be dreaming about something. Let's say I'm living in a marshmallow world in a marshmallow house, walking on marshmallow ground. I have a marshmallow car. Everything's marshmallow. And everything's nice and fluffy and wonderful. And then suddenly, I step on a landmine and boom, worry time.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Worry time. And then I'm worrying. So my point is that, you know, you can do it.
Do it!
You can turn your brain off and say, no, don't go to the area with the landmines. Stay away from the landmines, because if Mike steps on a landmine, it's gonna drive him. And you're gonna go, ah! And there's gonna be... Oh, I need to put my explosion sound effects on this little thing that I'm using. Next time, huh? Okay, sounds good. But speaking of wonderful friends, you know, this dog here used to put me to sleep. His snoring would just... His gentle boxer-like snores would put me to sleep. I will tell you, that will put me to sleep. Counting sheep doesn't make me fall asleep. It's thinking about Basil's great snoring. The late, great Basil the boxer. But what I wanted to say was, that helped me this morning. But there used to be a guy that worked for me that would always, in the morning, have me on pins and needles, because sometimes he wouldn't show up. Sometimes he wouldn't show up on time, and I'm his manager, and then guess who gets to run down to the station to be there because someone needs to be there because there are live shows happening? Guess who does that? That's me. And with that guy, did I ever have a peaceful sleep in the morning?
That'll never happen!
Never. So, my point is that you have to watch out. You need your sleep. You need the peace and quiet. And you need to hire people that are good, that do their job, that show up when they're supposed to and are not excessively tardy or absentee or, hey, I'm sorry to do this to you, but yeah, no, that's not good. Okay, here's the other thing about my job I'd like to say, and then I'll drop it. And that is, I'm going for a beautiful walk with my lovely lady friend in the evening. The stars were out. We had rain today in the Bay Area. It's very interesting. So I'm walking around the parts of Podcastro Valley that are very nice. Stars are out, and suddenly there is my phone rings, and it's there to tell me that the station is off the air. and I am about 2 miles away from my house. There's nothing I can do from my phone. I can't magically snap my fingers and suddenly go from Podcaster Valley to Fremont. By the way, we're broadcasting from Podcaster Valley Mont right now. It's fantastic. So I can't physically do that, and it's like, what? So now the rest of the walk, the lovely walk I'm having with my lovely lady friend, I'm thinking about work. I'm making phone calls to people. I'm instantly activated. I'm on the job. I'm on duty. Is your job like that? Is that something you do? Because let me tell you, my friend, it's not, it pulls you completely out of whatever fun moment you're having, and you're then suddenly occupied. Changes everything in a heartbeat. My lovely lady friend is amazing because she puts up with that. Just saying. But yes, that's that. So where do we go from here? That's been my conversational thing for Mike's Daily Podcast today. I guess so. Anything else I'd like to throw out there? Oh, my lovely lady friend sent me something about Wolfgang Van Halen that I have not watched yet. Wolfgang Van Halen is Eddie Van Halen's son. I actually knew someone that bought him a guitar. Someone that had gotten to be friends with Valerie Bertinelli and Wolfgang Van Halen. Don't you so want to, if you didn't know Van Halen, you would think he worked as, know who Van Halen was. You would think he was someone who tried to kill vampires with a name like that. That was my only vampire music I could find. That's not even vampire music, is it? Okay. Cafe OK. So, yes, according to Rolling Stone, he is now coming out with a solo album, Wolfgang Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen's son. And apparently he has done a tribute to his dad with his debut single called The Distance or something like that. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley Mont today. And I guess here's a little snippet of what Wow, he almost has like a country twang in his voice. Interesting. So that's Wolfgang Van Halen. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley Mont, the last place on earth. Look who's here.
Hello, Michael Matthew. It's Madame Rootabega. And let me tell you something. I made some espresso for you. Oh,
I was gonna make espresso.
Oh, thank you. I could use a little bit. We got a new coffee maker, a new thing with the pods. It makes the coffee with the pods. That I love so much. Living in the 21st century, and that came along. It's fantastic. The only thing better would be, say, computer, make me a cup of coffee. I will, Mike. I will do that for you. Or no, computer, make me a cup of coffee.
Yep.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no kidding.
So, what I did was... Oh, thank you, Madame Rootabega. Do you like coffee?
yes.
Do you like donuts?
Yes.
Do you like croissants?
No.
Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know what happened?
Whoa, that's the first time you've messed that up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought that would never happen.
That'll never happen!
But it did happen. It went bad. Do you know that?
That escalated quickly. That really got out of hand fast.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Well,
Dilly dilly.
don't jump into that hole of despair. Everything will be fine. And thank you for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. What do you think about any of the topics we covered? You can call me 336-MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM is a Mike Matthews Daily, and what this podcast tries to be. Oh, we ended the show within 10 minutes. It was a quick 10-minute show. Hope you liked it.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh, and the podcast picture is of another view from that Judge John Sutter Regional Shoreline that I went to with my lovely lady friend this past weekend. You can see it at mikesdailypodcast.com. Hey, also call me or email me. Let me know if you actually have heard concrete proof about voter fraud. Apparently they found some kind of thumb drive or something in Georgia, but until someone's actually prosecuted, it's going to take a lot for me to believe it. Just seems like the ravings of a sore loser, but prove me wrong. mikesdailypodcast.com. Hola!